My people, if you actually believe that the UK government is one day going to regret banning international students from bringing their dependents when they are coming here to study, raise your hand. For those of you who don't believe that they are likely going to regret this, watch this video. Stop that. So this video, obviously from the title, International Students versus the UK economy, right? Before I even start this, watch this video.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank you for granting this urgent question. And whilst I thank the Minister for his response, it's disappointing that the Home Secretary is not here herself, or indeed that we have to ask an urgent question rather than a statement being made to the House. International students make an invaluable contribution to our economy. According to the Higher Education Policy Institute, last year they provided nearly 43 billion to the UK economy. In my constituency of Glasgow North West alone, the economic benefit was over 83 million. So first of all, I'd like to ask the Minister, what assessments have been carried out on the economic impact of this change on the university sector and indeed in university towns? International students enrich our society and they have skills which are proving ever more vital in this post-Brexit climate, which has seen the UK deprived of workers across key sectors. So with current labour shortages in healthcare, STEM, IT, to name but a few, how can the Minister fail to recognise that this policy will simply exacerbate these? The reality is that many students coming to the UK look beyond their studies and want their families to be part of that experience. Without a way for overseas students to bring their families, many will opt to go elsewhere. And any drop in international student numbers will cause further harm to universities that are already facing financial difficulties. This policy makes the Home Secretary's agenda crystal clear. She's launching an attack on migrants regardless of the benefits they bring to the UK. And in pursuing this short-sighted reactionary programme, international students are being caught in the crossfire.
So this video, obviously, it did not really state loads of facts, but I just recently came across this article from IAS and I have highlighted several facts in that particular article that I want to share with you today. So guys, you'll be amazed. You will be amazed. So I'm sure most of you know that from January 2024, if you're an international student coming to the UK to study, you can no longer come with your spouse or your children, aka your dependents, unless you're coming to do a postgraduate research program, or unless the course that you're coming to do is government-sponsored, or unless that particular child, the dependent, was born in the UK. Those are the only exceptions. Other than that, you can no longer come to the UK to study with your spouse or your dependent. And I do not understand why. Because guys, mind you, international students pay huge sums of money as tuition fees that the locals don't even pay. See, the locals, even the little amount that they are paying, they have to take student loans before they are able to do that. But international students are expected to pay this amount in full before completion of their course. And this is way higher, yet we do pay them, although we are supposedly from poor backgrounds. It's money for the UK universities. They're making a lot of money from us. When we come, we pay what we call immigration health surcharge, international students. Even if you decide to use the NHS or not, you still have to pay this amount of money. And this is huge. If you're coming with your spouse and your kids, each of you has to pay for the duration of the program or how long you're going to be here, your residence permit. That is also money. When you come as an international student, you are allowed to do 20 hours a week, and then on your vacations, you can do more than that. When you are working, you are being taxed. You are paying tax to the UK government. That's one. Two, you're paying your NI, which also goes to the government. For those that come with dependents have no restrictions on the amount of work that they can do. So dependents are always like in full-time jobs. And dependents are working their asses off, hard work. They don't want any issues because normally they are like the most punctual and the most careful at work because they're so scared. They don't want anything to affect their partner's work, schooling, or anything like that. Sometimes they're even at the ones actually working to pay the tuition fees. They're working extra hours. And when they are working that full-time jobs, they are paying their taxes, they are paying their NI. And with all this thing that we are doing, we do not have access to public funds. We cannot go and claim that we don't have a place to stay, so we want council houses as an international student. You can't claim benefits, you can't claim child benefits, you can't claim all these things. All you do is work and pay taxes, pay NI, pay tuition fees, which is all in favor of the government and the universities. Yet, they seem to think that we are bedding. Why is that? These are the facts and figures. These are not my words. This was an article published by IAS just about 3 days ago, and I'll leave a link in the description so you can read it for yourself, okay? So the first part is, how much do international students contribute to the UK economy? Guys, you'll be shocked. It says that about 680,000 international students were reportedly pursuing various degrees in the country for the 2021-2022 academic year. right? About 680,000. In the previous year, the number was only around 605,000, meaning more than 12% increase. So that's about 75,000 more people. That's a lot. Across all higher education institutions, the overall number of students in 2021-22 was over 2.8 million, showing a 4% increase from the 2020-2021 period, which was about 2.75 million. Guys, we're getting to the exciting part. Stay with me.
Have you taken the IELTS multiple times without success? Are you 2, 1, or even just half a band away from what the NMC or GMC require in order to give you your PIN or license to practice? Then stop, take a breath, and let us help. You see, here at IELTS Medical, we've given doctors and nurses the tools they need to pass the academic version of the IELTS exam as efficiently as possible. Whether you've reached above 7.0 in 3 sub-tests, but can't seem to crack IELTS writing, whether it's IELTS reading that's the thorn in your side, it's okay, we're here for you.
It says a recent study showed that international students starting their studies in 2020-2021 will generate up to £41.9 billion to the UK economy. International students for the 2020-2021 academic year, they generated up to 41.9, not million pounds, billion pounds to the UK economy. This is compared to the estimated £4.4 billion it cost the UK to host them and any dependents they may have. So it cost the UK about £4.4 billion to host. Meanwhile, we generated 41.9 billion pounds. So this implies a net benefit of 37.4 billion for the UK economy. These are not my words. These were published by a reputable organization, IAS. And the funny thing is, they keep saying that they've increased NESA salary, whatever people's salary, and how they're going to pay that increment is from visas and immigration health surcharge application. They're going to increase this. You are making your country not attractive for international students. So how are we going to come in for you to generate that amount of money to pay these nurses? Next, findings show that the average cost of studying an undergraduate course in the UK is around 22,000 yearly. That's a lot of money that people that have been here all their life sometimes cannot even boast of half of it. For postgraduate degree, the cost is lower and is around £17,000 per year. In addition, each international student spends an average of £1,300 to £1,400 in London and £900 to £1,300 in the rest of the UK to cover accommodation, groceries, bills, and other living expenses. That's a lot of money we are bringing into the country. That's a lot of money. And then it says that while it might be too early to quantify the exact overall effect, some university leaders and political figures fear this would hurt the economy. These are not my words. Now they are saying that another reason why they are doing this is probably because the students come and they don't go back. These students are able to stay here because they get jobs. Honestly, if they were here and they were not getting jobs, they would go back. And if they were able to get jobs, that means there was a vacancy or there was shortage. They were in demand. Because if they were here and they were not getting jobs and they were desperate and broke, they would have gone back. This place was okay for them to stay because they did get jobs, and they got jobs because those jobs needed them. They are not stealing. They have no access to public funds yet. This is another interesting part of the article. I'm not going to read the entire article, obviously, because we don't have the time. It says that a 2017 study indicated that about 97% of international students leave the UK after completing their studies. This was before they introduced the post-study graduate visas, all that. So at that time, 2017 era, 97% of international students were going back. So what changed? What changed was because you introduced something called post-study graduate visas or something like that allowed them to stay in the UK after their schooling. So it was not something that they were doing illegally. It was something that you introduced and they benefited from it. Guys, but listen to this. They said that recently, however, there appears to be a change in the trend. So that means now more international students are staying, right? Compared to the 97% initially that were going back. Many students who complete their studies in the UK from less developed countries are interested in staying back. What changed? What caused this trend to change? For students from less developed countries, recent visa policies may have caused a spike in remaining in the UK after graduating. Who introduced these visa policies? The government. For instance, between 2012 to 2017, UK institutions saw a 27% drop in enrollments from Nigeria. Guys, this part, I opened my mouth like this. Wait, let me finish it. Let me take it again. It says, for instance, between 2012 and 2017, institutions in the UK saw a 27% drop in enrollments from Nigeria, making the government name it one of its 5 high priority targets when implementing the 2-year post-study graduate route. So there was a point in the UK here where a lot of people from Nigeria were not applying to come and study here. But because they knew that they wanted my Nigerian brothers and sisters to come here, what did they do? As part of their 5 priority targets to make this place attractive for Nigerians, that is when they introduced the 2-year post-study graduate route. These are not my words. So there was a time that you needed us. So you introduced this to make it attractive for us to come in. And now you don't need us anymore. So I'll read that part again. It says, for instance, between 2012 to 2017, UK institutions saw a 27% drop in enrollments from Nigeria, making the government name it one of its 5 high priority targets when implementing the 2-year post-study graduate route as part of its international education strategy in 2019. This proved effective as applications from the African country, so there's not all African countries, so Nigerians were targets when they were doing this. They wanted to attract more Nigerians. They know we have money. I mean, you know, I'm half Nigerian. Started increasing. By 2022, it recorded a whopping 65,929 student visas, an increase of 29,146 compared to 2021 data. So compared to 2019, the country had the largest percentage increase of 686%. So guys, that's it. If this does not make you think they're going to regret this soon, and I don't know how you understood this, let me know. I am not into politics. I'm just stating all these things based on this article. And this is published by the IAS. If you know IAS, you know that they are a very reputable immigration firm here in the UK. And guys, this is what they are saying. If you did not take anything from this video, just take the part about the net profit that they make. Obviously, they do spend money to keep us and our dependents, but we also bring in a lot of money. And with all the money we are bringing in, we still do not have access to public funds. Because I tell you, Africans are smart, not Nigerians alone. Africans are smart. We are going to keep searching online, and YouTubers are going to make videos about current Western countries where you can go and study and go with your dependents. And they'll forget that you can go to those countries. They are going to explore and research about countries where you can actually go and get a post-study graduate visa, and they're going to move to those countries instead and help build those countries' economies. If they were getting jobs, that means there was a shortage of workers. I have a feeling that they will get, and in future, maybe not the near future, but in years to come, this thing will be introduced again. Because if this article is anything to go by, they are stating that before 2017, there was a drop in the number of international students that enrolled from Nigeria. And because they wanted to make this place attractive from that African country, they decided to introduce some things, and it worked. But now they are switching back. This is sad, the way sometimes we are treated, honestly. This is really sad. And I'm happy that some university leaders and some politicians are of the same view that this is going to hurt the UK economy. Maybe they don't see it yet, but let's see. But whatever it is, let me tell my African people that, hey, we are tough, we are strong, we hustle, we can make it anywhere. Not just the UK alone, explore. That's why you have to subscribe to my channel, because wherever the opportunities are, we'll bring it. We'll talk to people in those countries and bring the opportunities to light. See, God, the fact that God gave me Ghanaian parents and I was born in Ghana, there's nowhere in the Bible that says that is where I have to spend the rest of my life. Travel, move, migrate, explore the world, learn new skills, new knowledge, upgrade. We can decide to go back to where we are from. We can decide to also move, as long as you're doing it the right way. Guys, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Bye.